Hi, my just repeating my thing. Uh, in terms of preparation, playing at home, expectations, and pressure, how does 2011, which you have already done, and 2016, different formats, but same question.
When it comes to expectation, I don't think it's any lesser than what it was in the 2011 World Cup. As far as preparation is concerned, it's difficult for me to remember exactly what we went through just before the start of the 2011 World Cup. But as far as this preparation is concerned, I think we have had a perfect scenario. We started from Australia playing three T20s over there, followed by a bilateral series at home, then a tournament like Asia Cup we played. So we are looking on track. So the preparation looks good. I've said, fitness will be one of the concerns. I still remember, to some extent, I spoke about fitness during the 2011 World Cup also, because of fitness, you may lose uh, one of the first 11, which you don't want. So till it's not a ball hit injury or something like that, we'll be quite happy. And I feel overall the preparation and the team is looking good.
Mahi, hi, this is Arun from Cricinfo. Just wanted to ask you, is this the best that you've felt as a batsman personally in recent times? You were pretty good in Bangladesh, and slowly have you built it up to a level that you would have expected going into the World T20, or is it still a little work in progress?
Well, I have always felt good, when it comes to batting. Up and down is something that keeps happening in the batting department. But also, what you have to see is the opportunity. How much opportunity you are getting to bat is something that's very important. So I felt, I had decent opportunity to bat, not a lot, but looking at the composition of the side and where everybody will bat, I think 90% of the times, I'll be playing the same kind of role that I played in Asia Cup. Will be in a very tough position if I get to play maybe 20 or 25 deliveries, unless I really promote myself. But more often than not, I think, I'll have to prepare myself for that, 10 or 12 ball innings to the maximum. So that will be my role and responsibility more often than not if everything goes by plan. I'm definitely feeling good about it. I'm ready for the challenges.
भाई एशिया कप में जीत के बाद टीम का कॉन्फिडेंस कितना बढ़ा है और जानकारों का यह मानना है कि टीम इंडिया या फेवरेट के तौर पर शुरू कर रहा है, तो आप क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन का प्रेशर भी रहेगा यहाँ?
नहीं, हम एक्सपेक्टेशन के बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं सोचते हैं। रीज़न बीइंग इससे अनड्यू प्रेशर आ सकता है। और जहाँ तक प्रिपरेशन की बात की जाए तो काफ़ी अच्छा हमने प्रिपेयर किया है। और ऑफ कोर्स लास्ट जो 2-3 सीरीज़ हमने जीती है उसका भी हमें थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगा। एंड अदर देन दैट जो टीम है वो काफ़ी सेटल्ड लग रही है, सारे डिपार्टमेंट्स काफ़ी अच्छा कर रहे हैं। अब इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि हर दिन जब एक बड़ा मैच हो, स्पेशली once you get into the quarter finals या knockout stage में, उसके बाद I feel it's very important to be on the top of your game, क्योंकि अगर आपको knockout stage में एक खराब दिन आपका हो जाता है तो then you are out of the tournament. So other than that we are looking good.
Yeah. My after a long time feeling very relieved and feeling relaxed about the settled look in your bowling department. I mean, a reason to smile.
Well, what I definitely feel happy about is at least going into, if for example we are fielding right from the very first over, I know who's going to bowl death for me, and that's a big relief. More often than not, I think looking at the team, 99% of the times I know who's bowling the death. And I feel in the last few years at times, after I go in, after seeing how everybody is bowling, close to the 15 or 20th over mark, I had to start getting things around so as to who's bowling the best, what the condition are, and according to that, who I will use in the slog overs. So it's a relief to have specific death bowlers, and at the same time, the whole bowling department is bowling well. So the job becomes much more easy. You just have to take that extra responsibility and bowl well and bat well. So uh, definitely, I don't have to put in a lot of effort as to who will bowl when or who is the best bowler for death.
माई पहले तो प्रदीप तो फ्रॉम नेटवर्क 18, पहले तो ढेर सारी बधाइयाँ एशिया कप जीतने का। दुनिया भर में टूर्नामेंट्स जीतने के बाद इस बार ऐसा मौका है जहां कोलकाता में एक बिग फाइनल हो रहा है, तो वो कितना एडिड एस्पिरेशंस रहेगा, क्योंकि ये वो शहर है जहां पे आपके बहुत सारे दीवाने हैं, बहुत सारे एडमायरर्स हैं और कुछ क्रिटिक्स भी हैं।
आई थिंक क्रिटिक्स भी उतने ही है,
हाँ, उसीलिए
कुछ नहीं बोलना चाहिए, बट आई फील अगर टूर्नामेंट जब स्टार्ट हो रहा हो सीधा उस समय अगर आप फाइनल्स के बारे में सोचे तो काफ़ी दूर होता है टारगेट। आई थिंक जो इम्पोर्टेंट है कि स्लोली वार्म अप गेम्स में जो हम एज अ टीम अचीव करना चाहते हैं, उसके बाद स्लोली गेट इनटू द टूर्नामेंट, और उसके बाद धीरे धीरे टेक वन गेम एट अ टाइम। हर गेम इंपॉर्टेंट होगा। सारी साइड्स जो हैं वो बहुत ही अच्छी साइड्स हैं, और सारी साइड्स में 2 या 3 ऐसे प्लेयर हैं जो अपने दम पे मैच जिता सकते हैं। तो आई फील स्लो एंड स्टडी प्रोग्रेस इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रादर देन थिंकिंग टू फार अहेड कि हम फाइनल में कैसा खेलेंगे। आई फील जैसा हम टूर्नामेंट स्टार्ट करेंगे और जिस तरीके से हम बिल्डअप करेंगे उसके हिसाब से हम फाइनल खेलेंगे। सो आई डोंट थिंक वी हैव टू वरी अबाउट द फाइनल्स। व्हाट वी हैव टू वरी अबाउट इज द प्रिपरेशन एंड द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ प्लान्स।
Hi, this is Arup Chatterjee from Midday. During this Bangladesh, we are talking about the subcontinental conditions after you came back from Australia, but the wickets there was pretty different. So, do you have to sort of go back to during these warm-ups to the Indian situation? Because it's not quite the subcontinental conditions that you expected.
The wickets were very different right from the Australia series. If you see the wickets, Australia were the best wickets to bat on. There was not much movement, but still there was pace on offer, and the bigger outfields helped. And after that, the first game that we played in Pune was a completely different wicket. It was more like an English wicket. Then after that, we got couple of wickets which were the normal subcontinental wickets. Yes, start of Asia Cup again, it was more in favor of the bowlers, especially the seamers. And the thing was, all the teams found it very difficult to hit the fast bowlers if they were bowling in the right areas. But I felt the last wicket, which was the finals, of course, was the best wicket to bat. And that was very similar to the subcontinental wicket. Still, initially, there was a bit of help for the fast bowlers. So now we'll have to look, what kind of wicket is provided to us. But normally, if you see in a tournament like this, you'll get a lot of wickets that will be on the flatter side where, the batsmen, they can go out there, play the big shots, so that it becomes much and much more entertaining for the spectators. So again, sitting here, we don't know what wickets will be provided, but usually if you see the patterns, in big tournaments, generally it's more in favor of the batsmen.
MS, the team has been in an amazing run of form over the last 2 months. But looking at that World T20, do you think you need to shift a gear, or the way it has been going, it's just fine?
Well, I think we are running on the 6th gear. I know technology has gone into 8th gears, but I feel how we are playing cricket and the kind of stuff we are doing on the field is adequate enough for any level of game. And we have to keep our intensity up, and the focus should be there right from the very first ball. So I feel everything is set. I don't think there's any more gears left to operate upon, but we'll be quite happy with how we have progressed.
Mahi, Amitabh from G Media. Mahi, after the good finishing role in the Asia Cup final, do you think that you have given the appropriate answer to those people who are continuously criticizing you?
Well, I'm not here to give answers to anyone. As I've said, in the finals also, I said India losing the Asia Cup final to Bangladesh is a bigger headlines, than India winning the final. So I feel a lot of people keep talking about a lot of stuff. But from my side, what is important is the role and responsibility that I have in the team. And as I've said, looking at the 11, that will play the first game, let's say, for example, I know where I'll get to bat, what will be my opportunity or what kind of role I have. So, for the team, I have to fulfill those roles, more than, looking at what others are saying or what critics are saying. They'll always criticize a few things because they feel, this should be done, or, this is something that can be done. But what's important is from the player's side to see what the team needs. You don't always have to look good. What's important is, even if you're looking ugly and if it's not really your role and responsibility, but if the team is winning, that's what is the first and foremost thing.
Hi Mahi, this is Orkodipto. You are winning, you have won in Australia, you won the Sri Lanka series here in India, and now you have won 5 matches on a trot. So is there any chance of complacency?
No.
MS, this is Rajiv from ABP. What kind of challenge you are expecting in this World Cup? Is it as same as Asia Cup, or is it going to be a 10 times tougher than that?
It's difficult to measure the challenges, but I feel it's a world-class tournament, and as I've said, every team is a very good team because all of them, they have a set of players who can play the big shots. All of them have got fantastic bowlers. They've got good all-rounders. So I feel, it's quite even. It's not like you're far away from each other. Yes, a few things will depend upon the wicket, or if Duckworth Lewis comes into action. Stuff like that will definitely play a part. But other than that, I feel at the start of the tournament, all the teams are very good teams, and everything will boil down to how well you are playing on that particular day. So I feel you can't really take any side lightly because, especially the big hitters, if they spend like extra 2 overs in the middle and if they're playing majority of those 12 balls, they can really change the game.
माई भाई दिस इज सब्यसाची फ्रॉम एक्स्ट्रा टाइम मोहम्मद शमी का प्रेजेंट कंडीशन क्या है कल वो टीम के साथ ज्वाइन किया है क्या आप उसको वर्ल्ड टी20 की टीम में रख रहे हैं क्या सोच है शमी के बारे में
Well, आप लोगों को बता दिया जाएगा. There's a proper way to deal with it. So, according to the physio and everything, we'll take proper action, and he'll have to prove his fitness, and then only he can be in the team.
I'll take last few questions from here. Yeah, good afternoon, Mahi and all others. I wanted to ask about this different versions of the games, Test, One Day and T20, different compositions, different batting positions. Would you like to have a bowler all-rounder at number 7 or purely a spinner at number 7? And another question is this, that today is International Women's Day. It's very significant in your life so far as your mother contribution and sacrifices are concerned. And later on, Sakshi, aapki jeet ki Sakshi bani. So how would you elaborate on that? The
Yes,
number 7 position?
I'll stick to the number 7 position. I know the second topic is equally important, but looking at what we are doing over here, I feel the number 7 position, as of now, looking at the composition of the side, depending on who I want to promote, that number 7 slot, I can have a seaming all-rounder also, and I can have a spinning all-rounder also. So I think a lot will depend on who is bowling from the opposition, but as I've said, the bowling department and everyone looks quite settled. That we'll see later. Let's finish it.
Mahi, being India is the favorite right now, according to critics, who did the main contingent for the challenger for this lifting this trophy?
I'm not a critic, so I would say, I think all the teams have got a fantastic chance to win this tournament. Again, creating this kind of a hype always helps. Of course, it puts extra bit of pressure on us because if we win the T20 World Cup, everybody will be like, we told you, we'll win the World Cup. So I feel you're taking that extra bit away from the players where, when you play at home, there are a set of challenges of their own. And if you see, it's only in the last few editions of ICC tournaments that the home teams have won the cup. So I feel it's special, let's not just say if it's happening in India, it belongs to India. Especially this shorter format, each and every team, the difference between the teams becomes smaller and smaller with the format getting shorter and shorter. So I feel every team has a chance. And if we play to the potential, if we execute our plans well, definitely we've got a very good chance.
Last two questions from there, please, and then Sumita, last question.
Yeah, Mahi, this is Sandeep from Abela newspaper. Bhuvneshwar Kumar and Pawan Negi did very well in the only match they played in Asia Cup. So at this point, are you facing the problem of plenty?
No, not really. It's good to have a problem of plenty. And also when it comes to Asia Cup and other tournaments, you want to feature the best 11 depending on the condition, what suits the best. And as of now, if you are looking for 2 fast bowlers, then Ashish Nehra and Bumrah are the ones, who will feature initially. So that was the reason, whatever games that we could have given to individuals, we did give them. Because also you don't want to experiment too much. What you want is to win trophies, to win games. So I feel everybody has got enough games as of now. Also the 2 warm-up games gives us that opportunity of playing all the 15 players and, getting them that opportunity to bowl and bat. So we'll see, hopefully if everybody will get enough chance in the middle.
Last question, Sumit.
Mahi, you've talked about the equilibrium of the team being in good space. Does that still mean that you allow yourself to be a floater finisher, which you have done all your life? That is the best role which suits you or you're comfortable with? And secondly, is Virat natural successor as a finisher whenever he takes over?
Well, to start off, when it comes to my role and responsibility, I felt not everybody can fluctuate according to the needs, and that's something it's important that every player tries to do it, because at times, as I've said, if you have a good partnership, then who should go in? And then when you have that flexibility in your batting, and more often than not, it's the mental flexibility that's really needed. So everybody knows what their role and responsibility is. Again, if you have that adaptability factor, what becomes very useful for the side is, let's say, for example, if the opposition has two left-arm spinners. If you see the Indian team right now, we have the right combination of having left-handers and right-hander batsmen. So if you're then rigid and say, okay, this is the slot that this batsman bats, he has to go before the other batsman. Ideally, a left-right combination is the best to have. But if the opposition doesn't have, any off-spinner in their side and the wicket is turning, then why not promote somebody, who bats maybe at 6, but he can bat at 4, and you can have two left-handers at the same time. So this kind of adaptability is really needed. And I feel, slowly each and everyone is open to the idea, and they have played enough to, have that kind of an exposure. And as far as Virat is concerned, I've found finisher, usually when you talk about finishers, usually for me it's the lower order batsman. The top order batsman usually is there to set up the innings, but it's always good to have somebody like a Virat, who's batting at number 3, but still has that thing of, finishing the game. But often you'll see, it's let's say, for example, if opposition have scored 300 runs, what becomes important is for your number 5, 6, and 7 to have that responsibility of finishing the game. The entire setup is for the lower order batsman, for the lower middle order to finish the game. If your top order is doing it, it's fantastic. But the finishing term is more often than not, it's a very specific term and should be used with players who bat at 5, 6, and 7. If your openers are batting really well and if they are, continuously winning games for you, you may call them finisher in a way. But usually I term that finishing job role to people who bat more lower down the order, because the requirements are very different, the job profile is very different. As you come more down the order, you have to think twice before hitting, because the number of batsmen that are there batting after you keeps on, going on the lesser side. So somebody who bats at 5, he knows there's 2 batsmen after them. So I feel it's a more complex job of saying who is a finisher and not. But having players like Virat, if you have like 3 Virat Kohlis batting, 2 opening and 1 batting at number 3, more often than not, one of them will definitely be by the finish by the end of the game.